behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are here with the one, the only. She's a superstar. How did we get so lucky? Rachel, you could tell.
Okay, I want to know how many times you say the one and the only. Do you say it to everyone?
Each
Your,
guest
your
needs.
listeners know the answer.
They do listen. It just kind of became our intro. I don't know how and I don't know when, but each guest is the one and only. This is why I'm single, because when you're in front of me, baby, you are the one and only. But tomorrow there'll be another one and only, babes.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. You know, like I say, I'm going to die alone. I guess I'm a Peter Pan, which is really an unattractive quality, but here we are. I have to tell you a story about yourself.
Uh-oh, tell me.
Well, here's the thing. So, you came on the podcast. We talked about your background. We talked a little bit about Bethenny. We're going to get into this Bethenny and Raquel interview, but I don't know if you've seen the comments, not just on Instagram, but on YouTube, and hundreds and hundreds of people in my DM. So if like 1,000 people say something, it must be true. Every single person. Do you know what I'm going to say?
They said I look like Melissa Rivers.
No, that's what I said. They said you look like someone else. They all say this person, Rachel, you could tell, sounds exactly like Bethenny Frankel. The voice.
Oh, my voice? Oh, okay.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. Now, I have a funny story because I was then listening to the Bethenny and Raquel chat, and I never listened to other podcasts. And then I was listening to you and me because I had to see if an ad was put in something. I thought I made a mistake. And I got so confused and I was back and forth. And then I was listening to Bethenny, but I was checking you and me to see if there was an ad. And I actually thought when I pressed play, I was still on the Bethenny and Raquel. So I'm like, oh my God, everybody is right. Because I really thought it. I'm like, she doesn't sound like Bethenny.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I guess that's a compliment. She's self-assured, she's confident, she has a specific voice. So I feel honored. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that.
You have that New York accent. And
although she can be quite annoying, so I don't know how to take it, but it's okay. I like it.
She can be a lot.
I have a radio voice.
That's what you do. You do. Someone said you should have your own talk show from our recent chats. You're here behind the velvet rope. Isn't that the same as having your own show, Rachel?
It really is, David.
But here's what I wanted to say. So as far as I've told you, you look like Melissa Rivers. Do you know who everybody listening has said you look like? Number one person.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's a compliment, but I mean, they all say you look like Carol Raswell.
Okay. Well, she's very stylish and she's very cool, I guess.
Hey, listen, you're like a younger.
We have the same hair.
We have
the same look, kind of. Yeah, I get it. I get that. I also get Kim Zolciak a lot.
Oh, I can see that.
Oh, I don't see it, but I mean, not this morning because I rolled out of bed, but I got the lips going on, I got the cheeks. So, sometimes when I have the blonde hair, I mean, I get it. Listen, people think she's overdone. She looks really hot sometimes. So I'll take that one.
Maybe Brielle. Brielle is hot.
Yeah, Brielle is hot. You don't think Kim's hot?
I do, but I think Brielle is like sex on a stick. I think Brielle is like just oozes. She's one of those that just like, she's like Lala to me. Like just whether it's your type or not, they just ooze sex. That's how I feel about Lala.
Undeniably good looking people like that.
But you know who the second people thought you looked like? I don't see any of these. Kelly Dodd.
Oh, everyone tells me that. And by the way, you guys, I met Kelly Dodd. We were sitting at a restaurant together in Manhattan. Oh, yeah. I had never met her. I didn't even know. I mean, I knew that she must have been a housewife, but I didn't know from where. I wasn't sure. I thought it was from Texas, or Dallas. I was confused. She comes up to me with her husband and she's like, are you Rachel? You could tell everyone has been telling me that we look like twins, and we totally do. And her husband was like, you guys are twins. We took a picture together. I'll send it to you if you haven't seen it. And we looked exactly alike in the picture. I mean, she had short hair, I had long hair. Now I cut my hair into a bob. The other day I got some extensions back in, so it's a little longer, not very much, but yeah, especially with the bob, I looked exactly like her. That is true.
Okay, well, there you go. We love Kelly and Rick at this podcast. We are friends and fans. Okay, we have some, so we have some, speaking of Bethenny, we got some things going on here, Rachel.
Yeah,
This
it's a big day in the news, that's for sure. A big week.
people have, and this will be last week by the time everyone hears it. People have been asking me, there's nothing that people have been asking me to do more than to talk about this 3-part. Now, I'm going to get into that in a minute, a chat with Raquel that Bethenny had. This is all people want me to talk about. So
I know, I get it. It's just everyone is talking about it. It's going over it, debriefing it is so like, how much more can people say? But let's do it. Let's talk about it.
Well, I have so many thoughts, but where do you want to begin? Where do you want to begin? Do I want to begin in any way? What are your overall thoughts on this chat?
Okay, I have 3 main points that I want to make on this 3-part series. 1, it hit me how many ads Bethenny had. That was the first thing that stuck out to me. And in the first episode, most of the ads were other people's podcasts, which I found weird. So I'm not sure that she made money on that. I don't know how that works. I mean, I do know people can pay for that. I also know that that can be inserted for free. Second of all, the thing that stood out to me is the hatred that she's still getting for doing this podcast. I've seen some very powerful people that are famous with big platforms coming on and saying, I can't believe she spoke. She should have never spoken. She's doubling down on all of this and her story. The anger and the hatred for her is still there. And I think her intention was to get her side out and have people be compassionate. But the level of anger people still have at that point, for me, it's like they are triggered by something and they are just projecting their own feelings. And I think it's really scary that our world has come to that where they speak so nasty to the mistress. I obviously identify with that. And, listen, people will say, oh, you're nothing but a mistress, Rachel, so that's why you like her. No, she's human. I know exactly what Raquel, I'm going to call her Raquel because I'm Rachel. I know exactly what she went through. And, I'm toying with like listening to all this stuff and I'm hearing what's happening. What she went through is exactly what I went through. And is it okay? I mean, the fact that she can be part of a lawsuit to talk about how, it affected her and how, mentally it affected her, how the whole world turned on her. That happened to me. I didn't get a payout from it. I couldn't do a lawsuit because of it. And to this day, and we're talking, what year is it? 14 years later, it still affects me as the mistress. But the man got to make a comeback, make all the money. I was broke. The fact that 15 years later, the way I make money is to have a podcast